Hello there, my maidenless friend. Welcome to this monster of a build, a shape-shifting savage strength arcane build, which can be created within just a few hours of starting the DLC. I mean, look at it. We are a dragon, bear, fucking bird monstrosity of a creature. I don't know what it is, but it's badass. And as you will see, this build has a beautiful synergy of quick, successive strikes with heavy spankers, the best of both worlds. The first half of this build is quick successive strikes. The star of the show is the Beast Claws. And no, not the much cooler Red Bear's Claw. I'm talking about the standard straight up Beast Claw that you can obtain right at the start of the DLC. Because this is actually a much superior weapon as it is infusible. So here we can change its affinity to bleed, occult, or even poison, depending on the situation, which I'll explain more later. This build is all about them successive attacks, fast movement, high stamina. You gotta feel the bestiality from within you and become a true savage holding the controller. Always being on the move with Beast Claws makes a huge difference, which is why you need a strong stamina. You never want to run out of breath. You want to always be able to dodge out of there, perform a light attack, or whatever you need. Constantly moving, that's the name of the game. That's the strategy and playstyle which works best with the Beast Claws moveset. The Green Turtle Talisman and the Green Burst Crystal Tier will help with this. At first, it is quite difficult to get the hang of this ferocious, high movement combat style, but once you do, it's freaking go time. It's go time. Now this weapon excels at staggering enemies. That's where it shines. However, against enemies that do not stagger, you're going to have some trouble, which I will discuss more in just a minute. You can stick with the Beast Claws weapon skill, however, I recommend using Endure. Pop Endure, get that 3-second ultimate defense, which allows you to charge up a heavy attack. Now that's what you do, you fully charge a heavy attack. You press it again to follow up with a second heavy strike, and then immediately jump into a light attack combo, getting in as many light attack strikes as you can before the enemy gets back on their feet, dealing over 4 or 5k damage with this combo. And though Endure only lasts 3 seconds, it will drastically mitigate the damage you're going to eat through while performing that first charged heavy combo. So I believe it's worth it, because once you get that combo going, some enemies will deadass stagger lock. I mean, look at this dude, look at it, this is freaking bonkers. Basically guaranteeing that you proc blood loss or poison, whichever you're using. This right here is why you use successive attack buffs like Winged Insignia, Millicent's Prosthesis, and of course, Thorny Crack Tier. For the Beast Claws affinity, you want to keep switching it up. Occult is most well-rounded considering we have a high arcane level on this build, or you can do the Poison Infusion, which can be effective against larger enemies like boss fights. You can swap on the Kindred of Rot Exaltation for more damage if you're going Poison Infused. Now, as you can tell from the affinities, this is mainly a arcane build, which allows us to use the Dragon Communion Seal. Now the second half of this build is the heavy spankers. Sometimes the Beast Claws alone just does not cut it. That's when you bring in the big guns to finish the job. Firstly, we got Dragon Communion spells. The primary incantation we're using is the Dragon Maw. This is perfect because Beast Claw is super effective against enemies that stagger. You know, slapping around smaller humanoid enemies with low poise. But if you come across the big boys that do not stagger, Dragon Maw can tank right through and drop them on their ass. It synergizes together quite powerfully on a high arcane build. Dragon Maw is seriously all you need, but I have some other spells for ranged attacks. Now, for my favorite part of this build, you can grab a second weapon, because Beast Claws does not excel at everything, like mounted combat for example, so you can wield a heavier weapon on the side, like a greatsword. Actually, I got the perfect new weapon for the job. the Ancient Meteoric Big Galactic Orblade Legendary Universal Greatsword. And even though it seems like more of a strength weapon, it scales quite well with Arcane. For whatever reason, I don't know, but it be boosting that magic damage. So it gives this build a bit of diversity, not solely relying on status effects. And a heavier weapon like this is much needed in certain situations, such as this dude. Not only is he a fucking 800-pound rock man, so he does not stagger, but he's also immune to status effects, like bleed. So here is where a weapon like this Ancient or Greatsword really comes in handy, because that's really the main downfall of Beast Claws. If you can't stagger the enemy, then you are in a tough position. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Just so happens that the rock is one pissed off smelter who did not get a Christmas bonus this year. The Ancient or Greatsword's weapon art is freaking amazing, dude. One of the best weapon skills I've ever used in my life. Okay? It is satisfying and powerful. It launches you a surprisingly far distance and then follows up with a beautiful AoE blast. This could be super strong on a thrusting build, you know, like using the Spear Talisman for pierce counter damage, because it excels at thrusting attacks. The weapon art deals magic damage, which scales with Arcane, so a high Arcane build like this makes the weapon art quite deadly. This greatsword weapon is not super easy to find. You have to get into this dungeon right here, and inside you will lift a lever and proceed. Eventually you'll find a second very similar lever, but this time you wait. You press it again, and then sprint over there as fast as you can and ride it up. And then you go grab the greatsword from inside this furnace. Just put your hand right in there. It won't burn you. Matter of fact, put your whole fucking head in there. It's good, it's all good, go ahead. If you have not bought Shadow of the Erdtree DLC yet, then you are in luck, my friend, because now you can get it on sale at a discount. Because Instant Gaming is an official game selling website where you guys can go grab copies of the DLC for a discounted price. And it's not just Elden Ring, they also have tons of other games on sale for the lowest prices you can find. I'm talking 10, 20, 50% off the normal price on games like Ghost of Tsushima, Lies of P, Cyberpunk. Dude, they got everything. So do yourself a favor and use my link below and save yourself a bit of money when buying games. You'll also be supporting me and my channel, so I truly do appreciate it. Thank you for listening to this. For your juice box drink, you got the Thorny Crack tier for successive attacks and Green Burst for stamina. For our talismans, the Rotten Winged Insignia and or Millicent's Prosthesis is a must. Also, then we got Lord of Blood Exaltation. Now this is how we start ramping up that attack power and get big damage going with our combos. However, if you do the Poison Infusion, that's when you swap in the Kindred of Rot Exaltation. I use straight Blood Loss for roaming the world, but then Poison Infusion against boss fights. Green Turtle for even more stamina, and again, combined with the Green Burst Crystal tier, you are schmoovin'. Oh, and by the way, there's a new talisman in the DLC called the Twin Green Turtle. So that's 2 times the turtle. Quadruple turtle, aka very good stamina and high movement. And then I got the Great Jar Arsenal. For armor, I recommend this new chest piece, the Grave Bird Armor. It's nice and low weight, plus I think it fits with the style of these beast claws. It's very animalistic. The main priorities are 50 vigor, 20 to 25 mind, 25 to 30 endurance, 40 to 50 strength, at least 25 faith, and 50 to 60 arcane. A balance of strength and high arcane will make the occult beast claws and the ancient or greatsword both very powerful and viable together. This is a build you can create within the first few hours of starting up the DLC, and I do believe it is not only super freaking fun, but can be very powerful and effective once you get experienced with the particular playstyle of Beast Claws. Because like I said before, once it clicks for you, boom, it's go time, baby! It can rampage through and stun lock smaller enemies, perform heavy wallops on larger monsters, and I know it seems weird, but the diversity that the Ancient or Greatsword adds to this build just feels good, it feels right, adding more damage types and a different playstyle. Now, don't forget to check out the Instant Gaming website using my link below so you can save yourself some money when buying video games. And stay tuned to the channel for more awesome builds because we are grinding, baby. We got lots more content coming soon. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.